My name is Ed Nagelhout. I'm a professor in the English department. I teach professional writing. And so I'm a writing guide. The first thing I want to say, though, is that I want to remind all of you that you are productive scholars. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. But the fact that you're here will only serve to reinforce the suggestions that I want to make. In many ways, I'll be reiterating what the others have said. I might push back a little bit on what some have said. Just because it's based on my experience and the things that have worked for me. So I want to make 3 quick points that have always helped me and to be more productive. The first thing is really be reflective. Take the time, know what you do well, and play to your strengths. Then get the support that you need for those areas of weakness. So any part of the productive process, know where your strengths are, know where you can reach out, because the university is doing a great job, especially in the last few years, of creating support structures that will help you in all kinds of ways be more productive. So for example, for me, I'm really good at either end of the writing process. I'm good with thinking and planning and hammering out first drafts, and I'm really good at the editing stage. But in the middle with the revisions, doing some of the higher order revisions and maybe re-seeing my work in different ways or thinking about other kinds of examples that I might use, I need good readers and I need honest readers. And so it's part of that being reflective to know that I need to get people who will be good readers for me and that I can then reciprocate in some way to help them with what they're doing. So again, so the first thing is know what your strengths are, play to those strengths, and then figure out how you can get support in areas where you're not as strong. The second thing for me is work on your writing, and I say this broadly, work on it consistently, every day if possible. What that means for me, however, is that you should give yourself credit for writing. Again, I'm a writing guy, I believe in writing process, I also believe in post-process, but in terms of process, give yourself credit for all the things that you might do that could be considered part of your writing process. It might be invention, might be planning, might be the drafting. You know, Lori talks about writing 500 words a day. You know, for me, that's never worked because I end up my 500 words are saying, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to say. And I'm just saying the same thing. And so 500 words is a really difficult goal for me to set. But if I have time and I'm thinking or I'm drawing pictures or I'm looking at an older piece and doing some revisions or doing a final edit or just thinking, give yourself credit for thinking, give yourself the time to think. It can be really, really productive. Don't feel like you have to sit down and only write because writing is a lot more than just putting those words on the screen. So that means you need to develop your process. Again, think about when you set your goals, think about it in terms of I'm going to do some thinking on this, or I'm going to work on my visuals. I mean, that's become more and more a part of the kind of writing that we all do. And so think about what your process is and how that fits into your day. So like with my classes, you know, I just model what I do with my classes. And so in the class, they have 6 projects. And they get them all by about the 4th week of the semester, and they're all at different stages of the process. So some of the projects are working on the planning part, some they're working on their first drafts, others are finishing up before they submit. And so think about that for yourself too. Don't be afraid to multitask. Unless, again, you're really good at just focusing on one project at a time. But for me, I've got multiple projects similar to what Kat was talking about. So I'm sure she's got projects that are just at the thinking stages. She's got some that she's editing and getting sent out, and others that she's in negotiation with her co-authors with. So the final point, and this is what I think everybody has said, to me, it's really important that you both maintain and continue to cultivate your research network. Disciplinary network, interdisciplinary network, local, national, reach out to people, especially locally, and work in writing groups, work in thinking groups, get feedback from people in different kinds of ways. Just, you might have a group that you just throw out ideas to each other, but participate and share as much as you can. The main point to me to be successful and to be productive is never isolate yourself. If you feel like you're becoming isolated, you have to reach out somewhere. You have the faculty mentoring group that you can reach out to, walk down the hallway, knock on somebody's door. You have senior faculty who need to read your stuff, who should read your stuff when you need them to read your stuff. It's important that you reach out. Oftentimes, like for me, I won't go to a new assistant professor and say, hey, why don't you send me your stuff? And if they reach out to me, I'll always read, but I don't want to impose. And so that might be the case in your department as well. So make sure you reach out and get feedback and get support however you need it. So those are mine.